Rundown, it is Monday, January 31st.
No. Tomorrow's my birthday.
I don't know your birthday.
January 30th.
Then it is Monday, January 29th. We're at Cowboy Jack's. We're going to be here all week live. It's presented by Bud Light. We'll be here all week with them. We are at the Bud Light House, which, by the way, is spectacular.
Woo!
It is.
Except that it is fake spectacular in a lot of respects. It's a great shell.
It's not made for people like
Well,
us.
no, we talked about this, and I think we're gonna release a Cribs.
We will.
But it is the quintessential rich people where they have the nicest things, beautiful pool, basketball court, but they don't have a single couch that's comfortable in the entire house.
And no TV. They had to wheel a TV
But
out,
that's
I think,
rich
for
people.
us.
When rich people get furniture, they just do it for show. They don't do it, like...
It's not comfortable. It's not set up in any way.
I need basically a bed everywhere I am. I want to always be laying down.
Not a lot of couches. My water pressure was a disaster.
Oh, that's a big thing for you, too.
I didn't even wash my hair.
Yeah, no,
no.
it was
Mine was good.
It was a welcome to Barstool moment for Liz because Dave came down this morning at like 8 in the morning and just when Dave looking for someone to hear his complaints, found Liz and was just like the water pressure, and I just was standing in the corner giggling because I've heard that speech 100 times.
It's AC and water pressure. That's it.
And
Those are
that
Dave's
was
two
also
things.
a problem. I had both windows wide open.
Me, too. It was very hot.
Very.
There's
So
controls
it's
in your room.
It's like a $200 million home that kind of stinks.
And Dan actually, so people don't think I'm a crazy person. You went and checked my water.
Yeah, it sucks. It was a slow drip. You're basically getting just slowly facialed.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the first shot, the second and third shot.
Yeah, it's tough. This is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use a promo code RundownSB, and you get $250 back on Super Bowl tickets. $250.
Yeah.
Rundown
Big money.
SB.
Big money.
Rundown SB. You save $250. You buy Super Bowl tickets. That is the best deal you're going to find. Rundown SB. You SeatGeek. Thank you. All right, let's get into it. The big story. Super Bowl week is off and running. And Tom Brady went on his Kirk and Callahan show, WEI Big Morning Show. I've been on there a lot. We're friends with Minahan. And basically hung up on him because Alex Reimer, who, not that anyone cares, is gay. That's just a fact that has to be said. He won a Spirit Award. He called Tom Brady's kid in the Tom vs. Time thing an annoying pissant. Mm-hmm. 5-year-old daughter. Brady gets on the air, says, I don't like what somebody on the station said about my daughter, so I am off of this network. Hung up. I have heard Alex Reimer was on his way to Minnesota. They diverted the plane and did a 180 right back to Boston and parked his ass on the bench. He is now suspended.
Ooh.
Whether that will solve it.
I've talked for over 2 hours about this Tom versus Time thing. I loved episode 1. I see no issue with the timing of it, and I'm looking forward to episode 2.
It was Patriots porn.
I did not use that phrase.
I know.
You did.
I was hoping you would, though.
So you could mock me for it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't do it. What'd you think?
It was fine.
Jesus.
It was okay.
Just fine? Come on.
All right, I thought the first scene was so staged, where Brady's in the kitchen, his kid's being an annoying little pissant.
I was
wait,
say,
this guy is a nobody, correct?
Yeah,
Nobody.
he's screwed.
He's a
So
nobody.
why
think
would
even-
you even work? They should just fire him then. It's
Right.
almost like,
I-
well, you're not worth this any fuss
Can
at
you
all.
fire somebody for that?
Probably
if-
not. I bet they're probably going to be almost like some sort of journalistic shit. We want our guys, freedom of speech, yada, yada. But if he's a nobody and you went and pissed off Tom Brady and the Patriots and you're a New England channel, I would just feel like you're not worth the trouble.
And I think you can fire someone if Tom Brady says I'm not coming back on this station if this guy's still hired.
Right.
Like
That's a business decision.
You
Then
can't. If you're a nobody to make that comment.
Alex Reimer is a
That's
nobody.
That's a tough. You got to know that Tom Brady's going to flex on you, and when you bring in kids, say anything you want about Tom Brady, but when you bring in his kids, I have Tom Brady's side on this. It was a throwaway comment that didn't need to be said.
Dave, no insults to kids, right? It's off limits.
You should not insult the
Unless
kids. in that
LeBron's kid travels she traveled when she was shooting those hoops.
And I didn't talk about her being an annoying little son of a bitch. I was like, she's traveling.
What about I don't know, for instance, I'm going to tell the aliens where you live and they're going to find her at bedtime and suck the blood out of her body. Hypothetically speaking, what if someone were to say that?
Hypothetically speaking, Kevin, are your kids back in play?
You're the one who took them off the table.
If they're back in play, let me know because I did take them off the table.
It's your table to take it on and off of. I never told you what you can.
Well, you're like now dangling them like red meat in front of me. Like if I could,
I don't. Yeah, I mean, just Tom Brady's
Are they off limits?
kids.
I don't.
That was your
I'm sure
words
I've
were
made
kids-
comments.
Insults were off limits.
Your kids were off limits to me. I will.
Are
put
they
them,
back on the table?
That's what.
I didn't take them off.
But
He
are
did.
they?
No,
You
I
need
did
to
never-
take them
I-
off the table.
You
Dave
took
has a
them
heart.
off the table.
He's a
I
heart
did
in
not.
there.
It's up to you. It always has been up to you. I have never told
So,
you what you
Dave,
can and
do
can't
you
make fun
feel
of.
comfortable
That's
putting it back
actually
on
where
the
I feel
table?
like Tom Brady, I'm on his side, but I'm also like, I don't know, man, laugh it off, whatever. I laugh it off all the time when you tell people that aliens are going to suck the blood from my daughter's
Well, okay,
body.
so Kevin actually brings.
So they're back on the table.
They were never off. You're the only person who took it off the table.
Kevin brings up a good point though, because Dave, when it happened, I immediately said to you, this actually works for Brady because now the story is someone made fun of his kid and not Belichick versus Brady versus Kraft whole thing.
He's actually loving this.
Yeah,
by the
so
way.
I think actually that might be why
He made
he
it a
reacted
thing.
the way he
Yeah.
reacted. Like, because I sort of agree. Like, kids probably you can leave them alone, but like Tom Brady probably overreacted here. But it was kind of intentional.
you know
that
what
the
it is,
story
too?
now is this
She's what? Like she's
5.
5.
Okay. I was going to say if she's a little bit older, she could be like, Dad, why did that guy call me a pissant?
Right.
That's a different story.
No,
when
she
you, when
has
you make
no
fun
idea.
of Shay, it's like she doesn't know what's going on, so it's not a big deal.
Right.
But if like your 8-year-old daughter came home and was like, Dad, why did that guy on the radio call me a pissant?
Right.
I think you have a right to be mad.
I wouldn't react to that. It wouldn't necessarily bother me, and it hasn't bothered you. And apparently, your kids are back on the table.
They were never off.
Okay, good.
So do
There's
you have
then-
anything you wanna say,
Also,
Dave?
there's this ultimate level of like,
I may be their new
don't-
dad.
don't put your life on a fucking documentary.
I agree
and
with
then
you.
when people
Time out.
react, it's a problem.
But here's the thing. So I agree with you, Kevin. But my point is, Tom Brady, I will never be like, you can't criticize Tom Brady. Like, you took a shot at my kid, now I'm going to stomp on you. That's what he did.
Right.
right.
But
So
he's
that's
flexing.
within his
I'm
rights.
kind of like
Yes.
on everybody. I don't
Right.
care whose side you're on here. I get it all. But
Right. Well, no. The only thing I don't get is the guy. What's his name?
Alex Reimer.
That's
He's
such like a nothing,
nobody.
That's just a nothing comment that doesn't need to be said. Like you don't like nothing.
Yeah.
Positive happens from you.
You know
for
what?
Bashing Brady's.
But I
think
agree.
he could have said it in a different way. Like I
Did you
didn't
guys
even- I
hear
didn't
it?
even seen
So
the-
I've-
Yeah,
I
he was like,
seen
it's the whole thing is fake, which that's a fair point. But then it'd be like, there's just you gain nothing from
agree.
going after Tom Brady's 5-year-old
I
daughter.
agree. But the only thing I'll say is sometimes you're on air, and this guy is a nobody. So I don't even know if he's on every day. But if you're just talking like
Yeah.
for 3 hours every day,
Yeah.
it's like you probably don't think that's going to
Yes,
get pulled
that's
out.
true.
And I'll
That
go,
is very true.
Right.
Actually, now
Well,
that I'm
this
thinking
is
about
a-
it,
we-
I mean,
well,
in the course of 3 hours,
and-
one comment is.
and it's not
And
like
let's all be
she
honest
was
here.
being
Tom Brady was not listening to this. It was probably Giselle, and Giselle was like, "Tom, you need to go and
more
Well,
the
no,
Deadspins of the
yeah.
world once the
Well,
news picks it up.
Wait, this became a story, or like people were talking that he said it before Brady said anything.
Right.
So it became a story.
And
That's
Giselle
why they
probably was like,
responded,
"Tom,
yeah.
you
Right.
need to go.
Right.
You can't throw and
Right.
catch
So-
every touchdown."
So he stomped on. I will say a lot of people, before we move to the next subject, have basically said, well, because I criticized Alex Reimer, who's a nobody, for saying it, and then obviously my howitzer thing. I would just like to very much clarify. Mine was a compliment to Brady's kid, and
glowing
this is an
compliment.
insult. So
A glowing
right, you
compliment.
can't insult kids.
Yeah.
But you
You can post their
compliment.
penises if you
Kids
compliment.
are off limits.
Right. Well,
Kids' insults are off limits.
correct. Well, your kids are now very much on limits. Thanks, Dad. That's what they'll be saying about that one. You put us right back on the table. It is brought to you by BetDSI.eu. Promo code RUN25. You'll get a free $25 play plus 100% match on your first deposit. Pretty good deal. Obviously, Super Bowl coming up. And speaking of gambling, we've talked about this, Dan. And I don't know him like you do, but I was at the Pegasus Cup this week in Miami. So I bump into, well, this is how it started. I'm checking into my table. Guy comes running around and he says, "Hey, do you know who I am?" And I looked at him. I go, "No, should I?" He goes, "Picture me with a Marlins hat on." It was Marlins,
He didn't have
man.
the gear on?
No. No,
Was he decked out? Like,
he was dressed normally. He brought the Marlins man
Yeah,
gear,
like
and did
Superman.
a mid switch. And he's like, "I need."
So
to
you
the
saw
photo
Clark.
booth,
So that's
the phone
actually
booth?
not your fault. You saw Clark Kent, and
Yeah.
he was like,
Exactly.
"You know, Superman."
Exactly. And then, so I'm talking to him for the first
did he
time.
still have his like stable of strippers around him?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
They're the mermaids.
the
Please,
mermaids.
Kevin,
Pardon,
I took
please.
pictures. I took
Apologies.
pictures. I took pictures with the mermaids actually.
You lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah, and he also then he's like, explaining to the mermaids who didn't know what I was or what Barstool was, trying to explain what we were. He's like, it's a big blog. He started something. It wasn't that big. And I met Dan and PFT, and I told them to stop saying suck our dicks and start talking about parents and the troops.
Yeah.
And then it exploded.
Facts
he
only.
Was dead serious.
Oh, he's
Are
a humble guy.
Have we not grown exponentially in the last year?
It
like
is.
we're growing, and Marlins Man did say make it more about the troops, less
There
about
is a
sucking dicks.
direct correlation between when we met Marlins Man
Yes.
and things blew up.
Unbelievable.
Fact. That's just two humble guys at a
Right.
racetrack. That's really what it is.
I was like wildly humble compared to that. MSU,
Yeah, that's like Dave looking in the mirror, seeing Marlins Man.
Yeah.
Humble.
that's quite insulting.
yeah,
Michigan,
to Marlins Man.
yeah, Michigan State. I can't say
you
I'm.
gotta just cancel the whole school.
I can't say I'm surprised by any of this. I'm a Michigan guy. I always knew some shady was going on. Little brother up to their despicable tricks. We talked about it. Why are they protecting like the gymnastics coach? Turns out they're protecting everybody. You got Michigan State basketball players who accused of rape.
The
Izzo
assistant
protecting
coach
them.
thing is crazy.
The whole thing, they just got to cancel
Story
the
after
program.
story.
Yeah.
Tom Izzo, got to get him out. Dan Antonio, got to get him out. These guys should probably be in jail. It's a really sad state of affairs.
Everybody's still in place at the moment. No fires, no resigning.
Nothing. You have Mark
I mean, you gotta
Emmerich,
just step down.
who was
All of
told
this.
about this. The NCAA, he ignored it. The
Like
whole
37 counts.
it's disgusting. It's a black eye for the state of Michigan. Michigan State should be canceled as a program. They should vacate every win they've had. It's really a sad, sad time to be a Spartan. And I just thank God that I went to Michigan and not Michigan State because I wouldn't even be able to get out of bed.
Yo, can you imagine being a guy like Izzo who, obviously the main story here is like everybody's safety and all that stuff, but Izzo had like one of the most storied careers ever, and you're going to risk that for this bullshit?
And
like, I would've-
Izzo-
if
Not
I'm
only
Izzo,
risk it,
I
but
speak up right away.
right. It's
Not
not-
only because it's morally right, but I'm not going to risk all my Final Fours and all the glory I've gotten over my career. I'm going to risk it for this fucking
But it's
creep
not
and
even
this
like-
dumb program.
like-
and
And they both seem like stand-up guys.
But
too.
right, and that's the part that blows my mind because what you just said, Kevin. Like, it wouldn't if your assistant coach. I think the story is assistant coach like hit a woman and like they kind of covered it up. Like, I'm not thinking about my like reputation. I'm thinking about being a human.
Right.
Like, how do you let that guy
First
back
and
on your
foremost,
staff?
first and foremost, you protect people and you don't associate with people who are like assaulting and harming people. Then even you take it a step further, like career-wise, what are you doing risking it for these nobodies?
And I guess, they're denying still and saying they're looking into it. But it's just...
Shout out to our Viceroy account for taking that shot. That was trying to break some news, trying to be a hero. That
What
was-
exactly happened there?
They said that
They were just
D'Antonio
stepping down.
It's like by
and
the end of the
Izzo
night or something.
maybe will step down, and then they went back and they're like, we clearly said maybe, and everyone was like, dude,
Yeah.
they can't.
It's just
Text
sad
like
days.
double
That's
down on it, too.
it's just the
Stood by
news
it. It was
breaking,
tough.
the news breaking industry. I've
it's
been
tough.
caught in it myself.
It's tough.
It's an exciting, thrilling time, but this is like one of those stories you probably want to stay away from.
It's tough. It's really tough. And again, as someone who went to school in the state of Michigan and liked the rivalry, even though they were little brothers, just sad to see.
Well, you guys, I mean, they're little brother, but they beat you like every single
Well,
time.
I mean, that's probably because lately it's just thug
Lately,
you.
they're like Big Brother.
Yeah.
No, well, no, it's thug you.
Lately-
If you have no requirements, you allow rapists and all sorts of things to run rampant throughout your program. Elon Musk is selling flamethrowers. We have our radio show we got to do quick, so I have no comment on this except I'm not surprised.
It's $500, which is, I mean, if you saw the flamethrower, it's a legit flamethrower for $500.
That
like
seems cheap.
I feel like we should. He's only selling 20,000 of them.
And-
I feel like we should buy like a lot, like all of them,
What
and
do
then
you do
mark
with
it up
them?
and sell.
Is
them.
it-
Who
I
do
don't know,
you
set
sue
shit on
though
fire.
when someone just flamethrowers like a bunch of people? Elon Musk.
Isn't that Simpsons episode with the villain? He was just flamethrowing everything.
Yeah, you should have a flamethrower.
Listen,
Just for
in Call of Duty, not to
intimidation.
I don't hate
not
that.
to talk about video games, but in Call of Duty, the people get flamethrowers. Biggest motherfuckers on the earth. They're the worst.
If you walk around with a flamethrower, nobody's fucking with you. So I think
And
we
they
buy
just
them all and
flamethrow
we
you,
sell
you
them on
just
eBay
fucking
for
scream.
10 times the
I
price.
would rather get
to all the villains
I would
of the
rather
world.
get shot in the face than
you think?
flamethrower.
You
Oh, I
think?
would rather die instantly than be cooked alive. No kidding.
Hot take, literally.
Got him.
I didn't know that you automatically died if you got flamethrower.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you die.
The Grammys were last night. The hottest chick in the world. She was on the Despacito video. Her name's like Lupika Luida something. I don't have her name in front of me. Everyone knows who I'm talking about. The Stunner, which, if you didn't know, was J.J. Barrera put a baby in her. That was stunning to me.
Those overseas hoops guys, though. Remember Marco Jaric took
Yeah,
Adrian
yeah.
Lima's V card?
Yeah, but Marco
Like-
Jaric was like a big, tall, like dark. This guy's like.
Yeah, Beret is still probably
I
like,
thought Marco
what,
Jaric was like
6
you.
feet? He's still tall in real
I guess
world.
I always looked at him
Did
as like
Barea
the
win
scrappy
a ring when he was
underdog.
on the Mavericks?
I don't know if he was
You're a
on that
champion
team.
and you
He did.
find
I
a-
always viewed him as scrappy underdog, and then he's putting babies in the hottest chick in the
Yeah,
world.
but I mean, like he does those like when he goes to the hoop and like does like crazy layups and shit. That would get the girls
I
going.
guess there's the video we can put in of the woman dancing. It's electric. Her ribs were a little too ripped up. I don't like when I can see a girl's abs.
Also, Miley's normal again, which is weird.
Well, she was just normal last night.
Yeah, but like, also, do you think Miley? I don't
She
know
had
how
to
it's
go
going
to
to
Elton
work.
John. She couldn't
Well,
go
that
like
was what I was
nuts.
going to ask. Is like, you know how Lady Gaga went to Tony Bennett for a year?
For years.
Is
She did
this
for like 5
Miley
years.
going with Elton John for a while?
Elton John's retiring.
move.
I don't even know what the fuck that means. How can you like you retire?
He's only
as
going
a-
to sell
not gonna
out.
play the
yeah,
piano anymore?
He's only
Yeah.
going to sell out like 10 nights at Madison Square Garden for millions of dollars.
I don't think entertainers can like retire.
They
Chief
just do it to sell more tickets.
Indians are getting rid of Chief Yahoo. This is a PR
Wahoo.
move. What?
Wahoo.
What do I call him?
Yahoo.
Chief Wahoo. That's sad.
It is. I mean, I get why, and I know you have to do these things, but that's a fucking awesome logo.
It's an awesome logo, but also like taking. No, I mean, like if you look at it, it's decently racist.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely, but it's still very.
It
cool.
is an awesome
They actually,
logo.
they've phased in the C for like
Yeah,
a
the
long
C,
time.
right,
now.
right.
It's not like they went from like full blown Wahoo to nothing. So it's they kind of did it right in a way, but
That's their mistake. They should have just never said anything.
yeah, I don't
They
think
should
people
have
would
just
noticed.
done it, and then like
Yeah.
every a couple months they do a throwback uniform, and people just don't even notice.
Yep. Last up, we have to talk about this. So we're in Minnesota. We are at Cactus Jack's all week. We're doing all these weird activities. This morning kicked off the festivities here in Minnesota. It was Team Boston, myself, Hank, and Feidelberg versus Team Philly and curling, which was it was Fran, Smitty, and All Business Pete. When I say it was one of the all-time Barstool moments.
You actually didn't even say one of. You said it was the.
It may be.
You said it's the
joke
biggest
that
joke job in
Kevin-
Barstool history.
I
Kevin.
think it was.
But given the
forgot-
circumstances, I would tend to agree with you
So
because
Kevin, he forgot to throw the rock. That's
To
the only
explain,
thing you need to do.
It was the last throw of the game. The entire match on the line. Pete had
but he is the curling
Yes,
guy
the
too.
curling
Yes.
guy. And
he
was,
runs around the office talking about curling 24/7.
curling
Pete
this.
was actually throwing decently well. It looked like he had a chance to steal victory from the jaws of defeat. He rolls up, and he doesn't release the rock. Picture a bowler.
So he does like the
Yeah.
the legs spread out and he's gliding and he goes over the line and he just keeps
Yeah.
going with it.
Picture a
And then
bowl-
does he just come to like a slow halt
Yeah.
in the middle of the aisle or whatever you call it with the
picture a
fucking stone?
bowler rolling up and
Yeah.
the ball just never leaves his hand.
or it's like when Peyton Manning got really old and he would just run back and then fall down. The fall down sack. That was essentially what
It
it was.
was-
Just forgot
So-
to throw
so
the
you
ball.
just
It
came
was
to a slow halt
stunning.
and then like just were like
He
oh,
realized
what
right away.
happened?
And
Stunning.
Smitty, of course, was like, "No, that's a
The
fault.
fault,
Like, we
but-
can do
Yeah,
it
we can
again."
redo it, yeah.
Pete knew.
Pete knew.
Started
He
walking
crumbled.
away. He knew.
It was
Why don't you? I mean, that's like the
All-time show.
equivalent of like holding onto the ball as a pitcher. Like you don't,
Yes,
you don't let go
but
of the ball.
that's
and
not
it's a
even
balk,
that's no
and
that's,
you balk in the game
that's
winning run or
not
something.
that's not even a balk. I don't think
I don't even know. Like he did the full wind up and he
it's
just.
a bowler. Except
unreal.
like you don't get. It,
But your whole body
It's
would go over the
unbelievable.
line, down the line.
Yeah,
You know what? It's like we're trying to
Pete.
find. Here's the thing: we're trying to find ways to describe it, but there really aren't. It's just the
It's
Pete.
when you don't let
It's
go
just
of
you
a
pull
fucking
Pete.
stone and curl.
Yeah, you pull a Pete.
maybe a race when it's like the gun goes off and one guy just doesn't run. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It was the most shocking. And I talked to him off camera like 5 minutes ago, and he's like, "I'm the sarcastic guy. I like taking digs at people. I live my life not being the guy who made fun of." He
Guess
said
what?
this. He said this will stick with him forever.
yeah.
Oh, forever.
Oh,
This will
yeah.
Never,
Because
that's
here's-
how Barstool works. You don't
Well,
let things down.
And here's the other thing about Pete. If you know Pete, there's never been a mistake that he caused. He's always going to be like, well, it's this person.
buck
it's this person.
is passed
and I
quicker
actually
than
agree
anybody's
with
ever passed it.
Well, I agree with him for the most part because he's meticulous. He's a narc. He's that's whole his like he doesn't make mistakes. This was a mistake on another level.
And you lost it for
and
all of
no one to
Philadelphia.
blame but himself.
I couldn't even get the. I was standing kind of parallel, and I'm just watching him like he still has it. He's come to a stop.
It was unbelievable.
And that was the dub for.
That was it.
That was
Ended,
That was
it ended
game.
the match.
That was the game.
Like we were worried before that Hank was like, let's do some B-roll, keep playing just to get more for the video. And then
that happened.
The real
like
shame
a
of it,
gift from the heavens.
The real
with
shame.
The choke of
Yeah.
all time.
the real shame of it is that the Olympics are a week away. And this was going to be Pete's 2 weeks to make curling mainstream. And now we have this.
I can't wait
It's
to
a
see
real
the GIF.
shame.
I haven't seen the GIF yet. I know he's like, oh, it won't be good. I know your head dropped like that. I know his head.
Yeah.
When he realized
Because he
didn't
knew, and
let
everyone
go.
looked around like, what are the rules? But Pete knew.
Pete knew.
Pete knew.
Right, he knew it was over. Like
Yeah.
Smitty's like, that's a fault. It's like tennis, and Pete's head just dropped. He knew no fault. You got to let go of the
Curling's
rock.
terrible, by the
guy
way. Did you
who-
like it? It
Oh,
was,
yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah.
It's like ice bocce.
Shut-
right?
it's a shuffleboard on ice.
But you have to like, you're basically just
Sweeping and
sweeping.
shit,
Yeah, it's
They should
cold.
get rid of the sweeping. You
Yeah.
just shoot and drink.
Yes,
I heard
The-
Smitty asked if sweeping makes it go faster or slower.
Yeah, he couldn't figure that
The
That
the
was
curling guy, the guy worked there at what was it? Frog
one out.
Frogtown Curling
St.
Club.
Paul, Minnesota.
He
Shout out.
literally, without provocation, looked at me at the and goes, "In all my years of watching curling, that's the biggest choke I've ever seen."
Yeah.
Oh man.
I asked the
literally
woman
said
if that
that.
ever happens. She's like, no, that
Pete,
never ever
I mean,
happens.
it would be bad if anybody else did it, but you are the fucking obnoxious
Curling
curling
guy.
guy. It's unbelievable.
All he had to do, and no one talks about, is let go.
Yeah, because if he misses it, the curl. Like,
Everyone was missing.
No one was scoring. Everyone was missing. So he would have been like, okay, whatever. He missed. He
Just
got a
let
shot.
go of it.
Just
But
let go.
He ate it. There's no other way to describe. He took the curling. He took the rock home with him.
Oh my god.
A stunning moment to start Super Bowl week, indeed. Thank you, Pete, for being an all-time
Being you.
Muppet.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a
Yeah.
Muppet moment.
It will define. You know, it's like the old saying, like, "Don't let a moment define you." That this will define you.
Defines it. Your career is defined at Barstool. This is your moment. This is your weird haircut, Seth. You're a bum.
Yeah,
There's
you're
no
a
way-
bum.
This is,
You're a bum.
This is it. It didn't happen to Pete.
Oh
tough.
man, IT Pete.
All right.
He also doesn't
And
like
on
that,
he's
by the
giving
way.
us IT
Pat's
Pete.
been calling him IT.
Let's go do
Pete all
some
day.
radio.